Oh my gosh, I need to completely re-record my intro because today is not the first day. Today will be the second day video. I'm just doing it today. Well, hello and welcome to the 12 Days of Yule, my Yulemas vlog for this year. Today is day 2 video. So over the next 12 days, I'm going to be sharing what is Yule to our family, what our traditions are, how they've grown, how they've changed over time, what they started out as, all the good stuff. I'm also going to be talking about how we balance celebrating Yule and celebrating Christmas with the rest of our family. I'm going to talk about setting boundaries and taking care of your energy and your self-care and your mental health. I'm going to go over some wonderful handmade gifts that some of them do take time and some of them are pretty easy to whip up. I am also going to cover my New Year journal setup, do a New Year card pull, and go over my intentions and my theme for the year. And then my last video shall be welcoming in the new year. So what is Yule? Well, for my family, personally, and I believe just a base description of the celebration of Yule is just celebrating the changing of the season from the dark half to the light half. So really just celebrating the return of the light. It hasn't fully happened yet, but this is like the shifting point of where we start leaning back towards the lighter half of the year. So yeah, a celebration of the returning of the sun and what's to come. I found a really awesome explanation, and she goes into a lot more depth and has a lot more resources and knowledge on this subject. I just came across her like right around Thanksgiving this year, and her channel is called the Witches Cookery. She's so freaking adorable, and I've only watched like 3 of her videos, but so far I've loved every single one. And she shares background on the folklore, and she shares recipes, and she just has this very beautiful way of sharing what she's sharing. So definitely go and check her out because she has more than one video on Yule, and there was tons of really good information in there. Traditionally, what my husband and I grew up with was we grew up celebrating Christmas. We both grew up in Catholic households. My sisters and I went to Catholic school, a Catholic private school. So Christmas for us, we got like a gift on Christmas Eve, and then we would go to bed, and then we would be woken up like in the middle of the night, like after midnight, with like hot cocoa and whipped cream or eggnog and whipped cream, and it was like fresh and hot. And then we would celebrate Christmas like in the middle of the night at the changing of the day and open all of our gifts. And then I think we would just go back to bed, which it sounds so strange, but I do have vague memories of this. So we'd go back to bed then we'd wake up again and like everyone get all dressed up to go to church. If we hadn't gone to church Christmas Eve, it's very different from how we celebrate now. We do not celebrate Christmas on like one day. We take the entire 12 days to give gifts and get together with people. It just feels so much more relaxed than trying to cram everything into one day, or the one day and the eve of the one day. So instead of just focusing on those 2 days, it's been nice to expand our time frame to encapsulate many days and take that time to get together with different people and share our time and share the crafts and wonderful gifts that we've made. We've actually started making a lot more gifts as the years have gone on. There are certain items that are worth buying, like I'm not going to make a freaking speaker or a fancy candle or something like that. That's not in my skill set yet. I would love to learn how to make candles, but I'm not there yet. So, like buying certain things and then maybe making it more personalized. Like instead of wrapping the candle in a box, I might get a specific piece of fabric and like, oh, what is that wrapping style called? Furoshiki, I want to say. I'll look it up. But there's a wrapping style that is from Japan, I believe, and it's how to wrap things in fabric and cloth, but it's still like the cloth is part of the gift and it's very presentable. And some of them have handles and some of them have these elaborate bows, and I just really love the concept. We really haven't used wrapping paper in a long time. We've been either wrapping things in fabric or saving boxes that things come in, or saving bags that we've received from other gifts from other people, and saving the little crepe paper, the colorful crepe paper that comes with many gifts. So it's been a really long time since I've had to purchase anything to wrap something in. So growing up, celebrating Christmas in my household, as we got older, it became less about family because, well, we moved so far away from like the bulk of our family. And so it was just us as a small family get together. So it wasn't so much about this huge spread of food and getting together and seeing like everyone on this one day. It became a lot more relaxed when it was just my mom and us. And it became, I think, more focused around like decorations and gifts. And now in my life where I am, it's more about celebrating nature and the changing of the seasons and just spreading love and this time of like deep reflection during the darker, colder part of the year, but still holding out that beautiful knowing that the light is coming. And I think that's what this celebration is about, and it's beautiful, and I love sharing it with my kids. We bake a ginger loaf. It's something that my husband described to me. I've never had one before I started making them for him, but he was sharing a memory with me about something that he had in his childhood, and he just described it, and I did my best to recreate it. And he absolutely loved it, and so did the rest of us. It was really freaking good. It's just kind of like a giant gingerbread cookie, but like huge, and then with a glaze over it, like royal icing glaze, kind of like how you decorate regular gingerbread cookies, except just like a nice shell over the whole thing. And I have to say that's one of my favorite things that we've added to our traditions is making the ginger loaf and then coloring it and decorating it each year. So as far as decorations and gifts are concerned, Our decorations are pretty simple here in the house. We haven't gotten any lights for the inside. We do have some lights. Oh, no, wait, we took the outside lights and brought them inside. So we do have some lights inside, but they're purple lights. And I'd like to get some white lights for like some softer, gentler glow. But as far as decorations inside the house go, they're pretty simple. We have a poinsettia. We grab little branches of evergreens that we find on our walks from the trees around our area. I am constantly collecting pine cones and acorns from the area. We have a lot of rosemary that grows around here. It's so fragrant and beautiful, and I absolutely love it. I love doing simmer pots in the winter time and just like fumigating the house with delicious smells. And I'm getting better about my little simmer pot creations, and I think I'm getting closer to making something useful and not just throwing a bunch of stuff into some water to make my house smell good and then dumping it out, because I honestly didn't know what to do with it for a really long time. But now I feel like I'm coming to a place where I'm actually going to make something useful, usable. Making my house smell nice is just a result of me making this delicious thing that we get to consume. So I think that was the needed shift, especially since losing our house to the fire in 2018. We've been rebuilding our decoration stores. However, we're also being very conscientious of how much space we actually want to take up in our space with stuff. So that's another reason why our decorations are usually pretty sparse and nature-based. Like, I like having the apples around, the oranges, the cranberries. I want to do one of those bird feeders with the kids this year, where you do like apples and peanut butter with bird seed and put it in trees during the winter time, because why not, right? And as far as gifts are concerned, we have slowly been shifting more towards handmade and handcrafted as we now make mead. That's been one of the gifts that we really enjoy giving out to people. I think we're going to do something non-alcoholic in a beautiful bottle this year as well, because I do have quite a few people who don't drink. And then I'm like, oh, I kind of thought I was going to give this to you, but now that's not really an option. So making things, crocheting, knitting, those gifts obviously take some planning and some time. I was sharing with you this beautiful item I made that is not a scarf and not a blanket, and I will share it soon, but I want to give it to its recipient first. But it's finished. And actually, right now, I have been wanting to make an advent calendar, like a countdown calendar for the 12 days of Yule for the kids. Lately, we've just been tying gifts in crepe paper along a ribbon and hanging it on the wall, and they absolutely loved that very simplistic style of what I wanted to make for them. And now that I feel the motivation, have the supplies, and have the skills, I'm making them each a calendar. And now I have a third child, so I have to make 3. But I'm definitely going to bust out 2 as best as I can. However, they're pretty chill. I know that they're not going to be like, oh, Mom, you didn't get that thing done in time. So I'm just going to make it, and we'll definitely have it for next year, because it's kind of a big project and it's made of lots of little pieces that I need to put together. Currently, I have mistletoe, and I'm just making this nice, there's going to be 12 little envelopes. I think I'm just going to like offset them and maybe have it like taper down and have some tassels on the end. I don't know. that's the fun thing about like making this myself and getting to be as creative as I would like. But I just figured out how to make the little envelope yesterday. Took me a couple of tries to make it look how I wanted it to look, but now we are in business. I still have to weave the ends in. And then I think I'm just going to leave these guys so that I can actually attach it to the back. But yeah, I'm making my kids' advent calendars for them this year, counting down the 12 days of Yule to the 1st of January. So that's kind of my passion project that I've been working on right now, is just making tiny envelopes and working on having the backing piece that everything is going to go onto. Maybe I will even put their name on it. I recently saw someone suggesting how to kind of make a simple scarf a little more personalized and fun, and she just added her name to it along the bottom, and it was really cute, and she said it was super simple, so I might just give it a shot. Another thing that makes this time of year my favorite, and it's not even just the flavor pumpkin, I don't know, I just really like these particular things, and I really only like them around this time of year, but just like the gingerbread and the pumpkin items, like the pumpkin spice muffins, the random pumpkin pancakes that I pull out of nowhere because I have leftover pumpkin and I don't know what else to do with it. The pumpkin pie in a jar is one of my favorite recipes I have ever come across. I've given it to lots of people and no one even cared that it was vegan. What else? Ooh, the whipped shortbread cookies, the little gingerbread sandwich cookies, the ginger loaf. So I need to pull out my recipes so I can start baking again. I have been baking on and off, but I definitely need to consolidate my recipes. Maybe even organize them by season, because I'm definitely a season-based food person. It's definitely certain times of year that I'm attracted to certain types of food. I'm noticing this about myself. Well, thank you for joining me today on our second day of Yule. And please join me tomorrow, where I will be talking about how we celebrate Yule in my family here. Good to see you again. Hope to see you tomorrow. And remember to be kind to yourself, especially during this time of year. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Bye.